Hey, you are along for the ride with Mad Dog Morel. That's me. And Cole, the Iron Man, Farrell.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Let's go. Yeah.
I decided to fly through the air and live in the sunlight and enjoy life as much as I could, and that's just what I'm doing.
All right. Welcome to episode 2 of Along for the Ride. I am Lauren, the Mad Dog Morel, and my co host and producer, Cole Farrell's on the other side here.
Yeah, what's up? I am glad to have you home safe and sound in one piece.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, it was a great trip, man. It was Gallup Kicker Arenacross, Gallup, New Mexico, of all places. Man, if you caught episode 1, I'm telling you, go to Google and look up Red Rock State Park, Gallup, New Mexico. The venue is beautiful. Go to Instagram at Kicker Arenacross or at Arenacross USA, one of the two. You'll find the Kicker Arenacross Instagram page, and there's some good content on there from the event. So it's an unbelievably beautiful venue. I mean, above all, but we got the opportunity, of course, you and I recorded whatever day I got there, Wednesday, I think, Wednesday night. Yeah. And so Thursday I went in, got set up, had the opportunity to meet, and this is kind of big news, Todd Hammock from Cycle City Promotions has owned Arena Cross USA, aka Kicker AMA Pro Arena Cross and Kicker Arena Cross Summer Series for roughly 25, 28 years.
Wow.
Yeah, he has grown it to where it is now with the CBS sports contracts, the AMA sanctioning for the Winter Series. Done a great job, and he's a great guy. Really enjoy him. I've worked with him on the Arena Cross Series for like 5 years, so since I've been on it, and he's just been a great guy. But he uh, he has sold Arena Cross and it will maintain Kicker Arena Cross, Kicker AMA Arena Cross. But he has sold it to a group of guys who are moto guys that have done events and been involved in events and been involved in series. Um, and Man, I got the chance to meet him, Thursday and have some talks with him, and I think we're on the right track. Looks like we're gonna add some more venues, some more races, upwards 14 to 16 races from the 10 to 12, West Coast to East Coast. So I think it's going to be really exciting moving forward. The primary new owner, Robbie McQuarrie, um, arena cross, kind of an arena cross legend, and former pro. Uh, I guess now Lucas Oil Motocross. Yeah. So, anyways, he's the primary. Um, Pretty rad dude, man. Can I still say rad?
You absolutely can.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
not
it's,
sure.
that word hasn't been banned yet.
Right. Okay, I wasn't sure. So
No, it's still cool. So
yeah. So Robbie, he's got a couple other partners. The boots on the ground guy is going to be primarily operations. Jack Brassfield, who does the Moto live show, his kid races, and Jack is also a very experienced ex-pro motocross racer. So both of them are from Tulsa, Oklahoma. So, which that's where Todd's at, and Todd is staying on in an advisory consulting position, helping them uh, get a handle on things. I anticipate he'll be there, be around for a couple of years, just helping them get a handle on things and get more than just their toes wet, get a grip on the venues, and stuff like that. So I think it's real encouraging. The vision that they have moving forward is lofty but achievable, and I think it can't do anything but help Arenacross grow. So that's actually pretty exciting, and it was a little. I was a little nervous on meeting them because I'm a representative of title sponsor, and so I have responsibilities, as far as branding and et cetera goes, and they were. We just got our heads together, and I think it's going to be a great symbiotic relationship moving forward. So I'm pretty excited about that. Into the action, into the crowd, man. Holy cow. About 75% fill rate Friday night for the race. We had people coming in at 4 for pro practice and staying the
Really?
whole night. Yeah. It was crazy. It was crazy. Saturday night, of course, you couldn't go over capacity. So it was definitely a maximum capacity show.
That's fantastic to hear.
Yeah, yeah, and Gallup loves Arenacross. They've been going there 20. I think this was the 26th year. It might have been 30th year of Todd's Arenacross venture, but 26 years at Gallup. And of course, they love the MAddOG'S.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll cover a little bit of that down the road here, but yeah, I wanted to kind of get that part out. We got the booth set up. The people were great. Everybody's helpful. Everybody's friendly. We had a great time, man. It was good. The hotel bed, hotel we covered, it was nice. Slept good. So, life on the road for that one wasn't too bad. So yeah, we got, it was just, they ran pro classes. Obviously they ran qualifiers. So what the format that they run, they start, at, I believe it's 10 a.m. So they have a riders meeting at 10, and at 10:30 they start practice. They run all classes of practice, and then, about 12:30 they start basically qualifiers. And when you have a huge class, as you're familiar with, maybe some people aren't, but when you have a big class, you got to go through qualifying heats to be able to make the main show, because only about 16 to 18 make the big show that night. And that's the goal for all the amateurs, is get to the big show with the pros, in front of the crowd. So, they had some good classes. Of course, Saturday had much larger attendance than Friday, for riders, because, honestly, I mean, weekend warriors got to work,
Absolutely. Now, was it the same classes running Friday and Saturday, or was it split up a
Yes.
little bit? Okay. Okay.
No, it was the same classes, and actually a new class that I wasn't aware that they were opening up. They've always had the Outlaw Pro 450, which is, pretty much anybody that is fast that can ride a 450, with limited engine rules. Makes that class. And they had a huge gate. I mean, both nights they had, I think, after all the qualifiers, I think we were to 14 or 16. I think they limited it at 16. But this year they ran the beginner outlaw.
Hey, that sounds like my kind of class.
It was a lot of fun to watch. And it was huge, it was huge. And there was everything from YZ 250s to, built CRF 450. So it was crazy, and riders from, young guys your age, and guys that should have been in 40 plus, all trying to make the gate for the night show, and there was mayhem.
Hell yeah. I mean, you can't win an outlaw class without some mayhem, I was just thinking how cool it would be to roll into work on Monday with your outlaw trophy and you just drop the beginner part off of it and you just like, hey man, I'm the baddest dude in the West.
Yeah,
Look at
right.
this. You got my wheels spinning with this outlaw beginner class. I might have to look into this.
Yeah, it was really entertaining, and yeah, they put on a great show, and of course we had the pros there. Probably the most notable pro again, returning this year, was Chris Blose. And again, he not to ruin the suspense, but he clean swept the whole weekend, every heat race, every main, 250 and 450 pro.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean the guy still got it,
Yeah, and that's his home territory there on the little tracks. So
yeah,
good for him.
Yeah, he didn't have any trouble. There was some close competition in the first couple laps, but I think he showed that he still got it. He still got the speed and the endurance, and because Arenacross beat you up quick.
Yep, it's like 150 heart rate for 3 minutes 12 times a weekend or something.
Yeah, exactly. And it's it's crazy, man. These guys are just, they're just getting out there and throwing it down, and they're running like 30-second laps. And so there's no rest,
No, it's pure sprint speed.
Yeah.
At the drop of the gate, you have your first opportunity to stay in front of 15 other guys. Then you got to hold it wide open for the next few laps. I mean, it's such an exciting motorsport. It's I'm completely biased being the moto guy, but it's something that you could bring somebody to that's never seen motorcycle racing and just say, hey, look at this chaos.
Yeah, exactly. So, and there was a fair amount of chaos, but big classes, good racing action, it was a really good show. Great attendance. We had a great time at the kicker booth. I have my show racer up there and was just blasting tunes all night. And I was right in the spot where all the fans walked past multiple times. So it was really super cool. And then of course they ran the MAddOG'S, which it's the only Arenacross that they actually put 100-foot mud bog down the middle of the track, basically build the track around it, and then run everything from the open outlaw or open unlimited, whatever they call it, down to what do they call it? Production tire, OEM, or stock.
Okay.
Stock production tire or something like that, where they have to run a non-cut 100% stock DOT mud tire.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
On a basically stock vehicle.
Yeah, I like that idea. That brings it more close to home, more grassroots.
Yeah, for sure. And those guys were still getting through it. Friday night, every single one of them got through it. Which I think it should have been a little more challenging, but in the same right, it was pretty cool because they were running, around 4 to 5 seconds down the 100-foot. Whereas the whatever they call them, outlaw open or modified super mods or whatever, the supercharged nitro burning sons of bitches. Dude, they were running them in the three were all under 3 seconds.
Yeah, so it's literally like in perspective, an NHR funny car.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, just as far as
Except for 100 feet.
in deep mud.
Yeah. So, and they did a good job of hustling through their program Friday night. Saturday night, they had a few glitches. They had some issues with their timing lights and stuff like that. Made for a long night Saturday. Because of course I had to pack everything down and pack it all away in the trailer ready for travel. Load the car, load the Razor. So I think I got to the track Saturday at like 8:45 in the morning. And I was pulling out at 1:11 a.m.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a full day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a full pull for sure, and but then, we're all saddled up and ready to go, and I got a little bit of rest and got on the road about 8, and it was awesome because I got an hour back right away, like 24 miles into the drive. I crossed the time zone back into Arizona, which is currently the same as daylight savings time. So I got an hour back right away. And so that helps, mentally and whatnot. And yeah, I think I ran the first hour and roughly 20 minutes on cruise control.
Very nice.
Never touched anything but the steering wheel and the blinkers.
Yeah, I didn't have to move anybody with the bumper. Didn't
No,
have to slow down for Johnny Law. That's a good
yep,
that's a
no
good hour
brake
and a half.
checks.
Yeah.
I don't drive so fast that I have to slow down for Johnny Law. So
Now this has got to be one of the closest rounds to you, correct?
yes, by
If
far
not the closest. Okay.
Yep, the closest for sure. It's about if you don't stop a lot and you're able to, you don't run into backups at road construction or anything. It's about a 6.5 hour drive, 6.75 hour drive. So it's actually not bad at all. I could have left a little earlier, but I didn't want to take the risk of dealing with like camper vacationer and camper traffic heading back west from Grand Canyon area.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, good decision on your part then.
Yeah, I literally go like right through Flagstaff, sorry, on the 40, and then right through Williams, which is, right where Grand Canyon Railway is. Cool little town, man. I stopped there for the night once. Just couldn't do it. I'd had some truck troubles last year, and Viking was with me actually, and I was like, man, I am just out of gas. But I'd gone events for 2 weeks straight. And then we had some truck trouble, had to have an alternator replaced by Bozo's garage in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. And by the time I got around Flagstaff, it was windy. I was just like, I'm done. I'm just not. Yeah, I could make it. It's only 4 more hours, but I'm not gonna take that chance. So
Yeah, but you're like me where it's harder to get yourself to stop than it is to just keep charging. So if you
yeah,
mentally get to that point where you're just throwing the white flag, that's a big deal because
yeah.
it's like, damn it, I can almost see home from here. I don't want to stop here.
So right. So
Yeah.
right. Yeah. But I called it, and it wasn't real late in the day. But I was just tired, and it's like it's not worth the risk to me anymore. Maybe 15 years ago I'd have pushed through. But now it's like, man, it's just not worth being dumb.
Yeah. If you're by yourself in your Volvo, that's a different topic. When you're in the nice truck, pulling the trailer, got all the show gear with you. Yeah, I don't think you
Yep.
made a bad call by any means.
Yeah. And we got an opportunity to go kind of wander Route 66 right downtown Williams, which is super cool. Hopefully someday I'll end up stopping there again and just doing a tour. But yeah, it was pretty rad. Decent trip. I had to at one point I stopped for fuel, and I had noticed as I was coming up to a stop or getting ready to get off the freeway that my trailer brake no connection light was flashing. And so, yeah, apparently a zip tie or something that held the brake wiring up had broke. And so the brake wiring was pulled out of one of the brakes. So I filled the truck up and pulled forward, being a nice person, and then climbed under the trailer and took care of business. And then got back on the road. So fortunately, it wasn't, like 10,000 degrees. It was only like 88 or something by then. So not too bad. But yeah, I was able to pull off the rest of the trip home and trouble free. And so it was, I would put a stamp on that event that it was a good one for sure, man.
We're gonna have to come up with some sort of rating system for all these trips you do.
That's actually a good idea.
We'll come up with something interesting. Five helmets, five open face helmets.
Oh yeah, there you go.
All
That's a
right.
good idea. Yeah. Yeah, so this would probably be a 4 helmet event, It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty doggone good.
Well, good.
Um, got a couple of bug bites because that Gallup Arena is primarily outdoor rodeo arena. So, there's some bugs around there, and it's in the desert. So,
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
we
ask,
did.
did they have any sort of barrel racing or any sort of exhibition? Yeah,
Yeah, no, there was no room.
yeah.
If the arena had been twice as big, that would have been that would have been so much fun. But there just wasn't the room to do anything like that. We did get to Saturday. We got to experience a little mid-afternoon New Mexico mini typhoon or monsoon. Um, We got some thunder, lightning, and some monster rain. Fortunately, it didn't last very long, but it made the track good. So,
Yeah, did it? I was gonna ask, did it tack it up? Did it make it slick? Did it make anything unjumpable?
no, it was a little bit slick, but as soon as the rain started to lighten, um, they got out and started working it right away, turning the dirt because it was really dry before. So they got turning it and just packing like they 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 got pretty aggressive on the finish line jump. I thought it was almost like a pogo stick for those guys. It was like boing, like really really quite the little hip kicker on it. But it was exciting. I mean, there was a lot of freaking hang time. They weren't going very far, but man, they were going high, and the crowd loved it. So
Yeah, and I'm definitely not the world's best jumper, and we'll get into that someday. But I can
yes,
tell you when you have something like that, because we had a lot of those at Paris Raceway, it's even if you get a quarter second more airtime, it's so nice to get that little break in the air. Obviously, you're trying to
right,
scrub and keep it low, but if that's how you have to jump that jump, it's like, you get a breath. So, yeah, I'm sure
yeah,
the riders didn't hate it as long as they made
no,
it. No.
yeah, yeah. There was some of those beginner outlaws and the novice classes, beginner classes, uh, 250, 450 beginner. I think they ran all together. Um, there were some of those guys that in the heats had a little problem here and there trying to figure out the distance. So that made it interesting. Also, you got 6 guys that are basically all the same skill level, all the same speed, and they all hit the same jump within you know a tenth of a second of each other. It's just all you can do is watch. because it's like, whoa, something is not going to end well for someone.
Yeah, you're hearing that panic rev
Yeah.
reverberate through that arena.
Oh yeah. Da, 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 da. Kunk. Blah.
Better hope those
Yeah.
compression clickers are in, boy.
Yeah, yeah. There was some of that. There was a guy that went on the first lap. He went all the way out past the tabletop, past the landing to the flat, and actually landed almost on a tough block on the inside on a little mud berm and just slid right across the track in front of like 8 guys. And it was, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't cool for him, but it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. You got to
Yeah.
you got to remind the fans in the stands that this doesn't always go to plan.
Right, right. This isn't the show where everything, every jump is perfect and every trip through the whoops is perfect. It's no, this is like, 2 guys going through the rhythm section together, and some of these guys haven't ridden their bike in 6 months, and maybe twice in the last year, and not on a track in 2 years. And, or maybe the last time they were on a track was Gallup last year. And they forget how to do rhythm sections, and they forget how to look for other riders when they're going 3-2-2 and the other rider's going 2-2-1-1 or whatever,
One,
It's
one,
like,
one, 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 one.
yeah, there were some of those too. And I'm like, oh man, I wonder how big his lap times will fall off by like the 3rd and 4th lap, because his elbows were up by his ears, He practically using his helmet to hold his elbows down, his shoulders down through him. It was, yeah, I saw some of that in the whoops too. It's definitely entertaining.
Yeah, not to talk ill of those guys, but training for the Outlaw beginner class means you switch to Bush Light the week before.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
maybe check the valve lash and you go and send it.
Yeah. That's about it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Maybe have a energy bar instead of a steak before you hit the track.
It's, there's little things you can do to secure a victory like that.
Yeah, for sure. just those small things. So yeah, man. But it was good racing. It was a good time. It was a great transition. So one little glitch on the road home. I love it when I'm technically not speeding, because usually I am passing the semis because I'm going a little bit faster than them. I'm not like semis drag racing up the hill. I'm not that guy.
That's the worst thing of all time.
I'm going probably 5 miles an hour faster than them, or more. And it's hilarious because you'll see people come up, and there's a speed trap coming. See people go by you, and then all of a sudden just anchor their brakes and pull in front of the semi in front of you. And I pull out and go around all of them, wave at the car. Hi. That always cracks me up. I always have some choice words, but that's road life.
That's road life. When you do 500,000 miles a year, you're going to experience things like that.
I think only about 40,000.
Hey, the listeners don't know that.
Oh, yeah, 500,000 a year for sure.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, roughly, give or take.
Depending on the job, but.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I think that's, dude, what do you think? Were you excited?
Yeah, they had some great coverage from the Arenacross stuff on the Instagram. They're smart. They take all the photos right in the evening. They get beautiful shots, all the contrast in the world. But hard, quick turn of topics. I wanted to share my weekend really quick. I actually went back out to Glen Helen this weekend because we had our SRA race, which is our Grand Prix series. It's pretty exclusive here to SoCal. And had a buddy whose kid was racing the 65 class. And it was his second race. And man, it was just so much fun. It's the first time I've ever been to an SRA and not raced it. And let me tell you, not racing is a hell of a lot of fun because you just talk about how you would have done it better.
Right. Well, I was going to ask you, since you led, I'm like, is that the SRA? You're kind of a veteran of the SRA.
Yeah, that's the series that my dad always did when we were kids. It's a family-owned series. They're on their second generation now. Great bang for your buck. It's an hour moto. The prices are still extremely reasonable. You can sign up as a pipe plater. You can be a chase for the championship as a member. It's awesome, and the fact that it's July and at one point it was 108 out there, and the whole starting line was full in every class, and it was tough to find parking in spots. That was incredibly nice to see that the series was doing so well. Southern California motocross is doing so well, and that people are out racing and riding their motorcycles out here in California.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. And that was at Glen Helen, yeah?
Yeah, that was at Glen
Yeah.
Helen. So our SRA series is 95% at Glen Helen. It used to travel quite a bit more when we had Carlsbad and Racetown and things like that, but now
Yeah.
they do mostly Glen Helen, and then they throw in one Kauai race a year just to shake everybody up.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I actually got to Glen Helen. Um, I have the banner to prove it. Oops. Um, at the end of 2020, when they did the AMA Pro Endurocross series there, because we are very limited on venues that we could get to, and Glen Helen was like, "Come on, let's party." Uh, so we had I think four we ran four races in 10 days or
That's
8 days.
amazing. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, for National AMA Pro Endurocross. And it was really rad because it was outdoors, you know.
Oh yeah.
And I'd never been to Glen Helen. But I know of its all holiness. And so to be there, it was for me like, I mean, you've been there hundreds of times. For me, walking in parking and walking up to where I could see the Glen Helen on the hill and just smell the air and be there. It was like walking into, for some people, like walking into the Sistine Chapel.
It's Yankee
It's like,
Stadium. It's Sistine
yeah,
Chapel. It's
yeah,
Hollow Ground. It's the Field of Dreams. It's yeah.
yep, exactly. Daytona or whatever. It's just it was crazy. I mean, talk about a beautiful setting for motorcycle racing. There's another one.
Yeah, we're so lucky to have that place. And shout out to Troy Clavino. It was his second race ever, and he's doing great. He had a great start. Fortunately, got in a little pack of other dudes going up the first hill, so he stalled it, and that put him in last place. But he charged his way over 45 minutes, pulled off a fourth place. Couldn't be more
Wow.
proud of the kid. And yeah, he and his dad actually went and got to ride today, so I can't wait for August 28th when they're going to go do it again. And I'll be there with the pit board as Uncle Cole throwing beer cans at him and making sure we get that third place spot.
Yeah, super cool. Super cool. And I got to tell you, I know what you mean because, and we'll go into all this stuff in some other episode, but when I was doing circle track cars, super stocks, sportsman, first hobbies, and sportsman, then street stock, or street stock, then sportsman, then super stocks and tour cars, and then go-karts. I was the guy behind the pit wall all the time. And there was something special about that. I I I was a much better, especially on circle tracks. When it came to cars, I was much better at setting the car up, getting the car to run, and getting it to turn and lay over right and do what it needed to do and getting the driver comfortable than I was driving the car. I tried, and part of the problem when you're really hyperactive is like you get 3 laps in, you're hitting your mark, hit your marks, hit your marks, hit your marks. And especially if you're at practice, because there's really nobody else on the track. So it's like hit your marks, hit your marks, hit your marks, hit your marks. Wow, look at that chick up in the turn 4 grandstand. She looks pretty hot. Oh shoot. And then it's like, well, I'm doing donuts now. I might as well do some donuts, So
Someone's got to be the fan favorite.
yeah, you just have to learn, that wasn't my strength. So if it is what it is, So what else you
Yep.
got from last weekend?
Oh man, that was it. But it was just such a big deal for me just to be back at. I'd been to Glen Helen probably 10 times since I got hurt, but to be there again for SRA, it was kind of a homecoming, seeing guys that I used to race with, and they're still out there doing it, getting beat up while I'm just riding the cooler. It was so fun. I don't want to be as pretentious to say I was coaching, but it was so cool to be able to throw some advice and, hey, here's what you're going to do on your start. And I was packing his gate and just, I mean, we could have got dead last place. The fact that he finished, I was just enlightened. I had such a fun time. And so now I see how these stupid baseball parents get so obsessed with it because they're not the ones out there. They're just pointing from the sidelines but in the motocross world, having a fun time. So yeah, I cannot wait to go back.
Dude, I wish the people could see your smile right now because, yeah, it really does. The elation in your voice and the smile really does transmit how good of a time you had. I'm so stoked for you, and there's room for people. Need people like you, champions that know how to get there. And maybe you're not gonna, throw a leg over and hit the double or the triple anymore, but someone who can still get on and ride and can still, share the experience
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm no pro by any means, but I remember vividly what it's like to be at 12:30 at Glen Helen, lap 5 of a Grand Prix. Everything's square edge. You're miserable. I remember. So hopefully I can help out because you got to tell them, hey, someday you're gonna look back at this and it was some of the best memories you ever had is getting beat up at Glen Helen.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
That is fantastic.
yeah,
Super
well,
cool.
I think it's a good time to thank our partners. What do you say?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, Kicker Audio. I'm so grateful that they support us. Um, I've got my trusty Kicker Cush corded on. Sorry. Yeah, and these hopefully these will last me forever. But I've been assured if they don't, that they definitely have a few set aside for me. I think you're rocking the EB400s.
These are, I believe, EB78s.
Ah, okay. Very nice. So, yeah, and other than that, of course, Bomber floating eyewear, check these out. My new acquisition. They're not white. Don't panic. They're the new blue light filter glasses from Bomber Eyewear, and I will tell you, they work. People, if you stare at a computer all day, check out their blue light series for sure. I stare at a phone or a computer when I'm at home, unfortunately, in the office, like 75% of the day. So, and man, I found, I don't know if it's just getting older or continued abuse, but I found I get eye strain, as the
Yeah, and
day goes on.
it'll cause a headache that won't go away for a day. So blue
Yeah.
light glasses, especially your Bomber pair, they're worth the investment.
Yep, for sure. And of course, Bomber Floating Eyewear, you know, they float. You can get the shades like I wear. Those are called the Boogie Bombs. Uh, you know, they also make a smart bomb. Um, and you just have to go to their website, bombereyewear.com, and check it out. You know, and other than that, I'm sporting the supporting Kicker Marine audio today. My friends there. Yeah, they're just Kicker Performance Audio has been so gracious to me and so helpful to us. I'm really thankful for them, all their support. Kicker.com, catch them. Premix Podcast. Be sure and catch Premix Podcast at Premix Podcast on Instagram. That is our evil genius behind the wonderful voice, Cole, doing work on basically SoCal dirt bike lifestyle. And I've had the honor of being on that podcast, and that was a good time. And hopefully some of those stories that we had on there will get shared on here sometime down the road. But yeah, we're just grateful for those companies, and you know, I want to give an extra shout out to Greenball Tire Corp. They have, you know, I haul a triple axle enclosed trailer, so I go through tires significantly, you know, and they've been helping me out the last couple of months with their Greenball. I believe it's called the ASC trailer tire, and I've been rotating all of my old tires out for new Greenballs, and I'm super impressed with the way they tow. Their durability. Triple axles kind of tend to be a little hard on tires, and these seem to be pretty tough. So I'm pretty stoked to have them help me out, and that is an unpaid endorsement. But I'm just glad that they're giving me a hand, you know.
Yeah, good people over there at GPC, and
Yeah,
they ran the UTV game for quite a while. So even if you
yeah,
think you haven't heard of GBC, you've definitely seen their product, maybe under a different branded name.
yep, absolutely. And hopefully someday, you know, my good friend BC Vaught is now a brand ambassador, basically doing events for them, which is awesome. And hopefully someday soon I'll have him on the show. And I'm sure Mr. Corey Ellis from GBC, who is a quad racing legend, American legend, without a doubt. The guy is,
He's a
to
lot
this
cooler
day.
than he'll let you know he is.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And he's still throwing it down and winning races. So hopefully someday I'll have him on here. So you know, but anyways, yeah. The I think we're probably about on time to wrap up. Wanted this one to be a quick one. If you struggle bus through the last one, thank you. If it took time to follow us and download us, thank you very much. Uh, Man, we're going to have some fun. We're going to be along for the ride for a long time. Coming up next week, we will be recording episode 3. We're going to try and keep fresh and stay on top of this. Episode 3 coming your way hot is going to be an introduction to my legendary co-host and producer. And that episode 3, look for the Cole 9 Yards. We are going to get the story behind the story from Cole, the Moto Master Pharaoh. Yeah, I mean, we got a little slice of it today as far as, you know, remembering some of your childhood, but we're going to go through all that, man. I'm going to grill you, bake you, wrap you in sugar, and cook you with a torch like a piece of Coke. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm excited because I've never had to sit down and think about my own life in a 20-minute podcast. So it'll be interesting to hear what comes out of my own mouth.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too, and it could be just a lot of swearing, whatever. I'm cool.
Yeah, hey,
Uh,
it's my life. Leave
yeah,
me
that's
alone.
right.
Yeah.
This is not a PG-13 podcast. So everybody's allowed to do what they want, basically. So cheers.
Cheers to that.
Um, yeah, dude, I think I covered what I wanted to on the recap. I want to make sure people get this one done, get through this one, watch for episode 3. My schedule, I believe, middle of next week, I'll be heading for Oregon. Um, we'll be at Doomfest. Hopefully, I can get some recorded stuff from some people up there. I will be with some freestyle motocross legends, Robert Haslam, Jared LaRue, a newcomer, Cody McDonough, who's actually pretty crazy, and probably one of the OGs of quad freestyle that's now doing a quad and a motorcycle. Uh, Cody Elkins of Oklahoma, long time kicker guy. And so Cody is rad. If you've ever seen the picture of the motorcycle picture or video of the motorcycle backflipping over the biplane,
Oh
have
yeah,
you?
yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
absolutely.
Cody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one of his legendary like niche tricks, because turns out not everybody wants to backflip over an airplane while
Not on
it's moving.
purpose. Nope.
No. So pretty rad, but yeah. Other than that, I think we're about wrapped. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good. And I can't wait to talk to you next week from the road.
Yeah, super excited. We'll get one in from the road. And the Coal 9 yards. We'll be I may even record some stuff while I'm driving just to bring it around along for the ride. I've got a really good. I think we tested that voice recorder app and it's good. So, who knows? You just never know what's going to happen.
Oh, that's the beauty of this show.
Yep, that's it. I don't want scripts. I don't want formats. So, all in all, great job. Thank you. I
You as
appreciate
well.
you. Cheers.
Appreciate you more. Cheers. Have a great weekend. And I'm sure I'll talk to you in probably 5 minutes.
Sounds great. Mad Dog out.
All right, Mad Dog. Catch you later.
Bye.